I'll tell you something, though. One thing I was really happy about last night is, we were switching back and forth between the game and The Voice finale was last night. The winner was announced, and it was cute Danielle. She is a Texas girl, and I think everyone was rooting for her because she's 16 years old, and she has the best story because she literally went from just singing by herself in her room to singing on this national stage and then winning out of over 40,000. 40,000 people tried to be on this show.
Her first performance that she ever did, like real performance, was on The Voice. Like she had never performed in front of an audience until she got on The Voice stage.
And then her mom,
really kind of a triumph story.
Her parents just said, let's go for it, and they talked her into.
She's going to be the next old Taylor Swift. I can feel.
So where does she live?
Is she from Texas?
She is from Texas, and I believe, Stuart, did you say it's like outside of Houston somewhere?
Yeah.
A smaller town outside of Houston. And it was really cute because she's like, I told my high school that I'd bring home a win for them. And so she's like this 16-year-old kid getting ready for a, geometry final one day. And then the next day she's won this $1 million competition.
And that to me is so scary for a child, for a little 16-year-old to have her life changed in just like that. And she can never go back to where she was just 16, just going to school, just going to a final.
I mean, I guess theoretically, she could drop out of the limelight, and she could decide that she doesn't want to follow that path and, finish up the Voice stuff and then move on with her life. But I'll tell you, she won't. She is so talented. And I would love when she comes back to Texas, try to get her on the show and talk with her, because it was really inspirational, I thought.
Just adorable, that little Danielle Bradbury.
I know, I was like, I looked at Spencer, I'm like, how come my kids aren't that talented? They are in sports, they're talented in sports, but,
Well, how come you aren't?
Good question. That's a better question.
I'd say if I were her child.
Right?
Well, you're not so talented, Mom.
They'd be like, you're the DNA pool we came from.
My mom always cracks the joke, like, Courtney, when are you going to do something really big and then I can, just retire and just, follow you around? And
I'm like, I'm working on it, Mom.
Yeah. And then she cracks the joke, just get married and then, so I can just quit and be your nanny. I'll just, get a house behind you and your husband. I'm like, yeah, that sounds amazing.
I had a mother,
can't wait for you to live with us, Mom.
I had a mother who, when I was elected cheerleader and came home and said, Mom, I got elected cheerleader. She said, Suzanne, that's no big honor to be voted the loudest mouth girl in school.
Your mom really kept it real, didn't she?
Yes,
all your stories about your mom she was just a no BS kind of gal.
She was. She's a funny woman.
I wonder where you get it from. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree now, does it?
No, it doesn't.
So